CTV is also learning through sources that there will be a cabinet shuffle tomorrow, Friday, in which the Prime Minister will appoint new ministers and new roles, perhaps change some of his current lieutenants. We'll see how it plays out. CTV's Jeremie Charron following it. And Jeremy, the first time we've heard at length from Dominic LeBlanc as Canada's new finance minister. A lot of questions, but I mean, this is a guy who's been around a long time. He's quite at ease with the media. You listen to some of the answers there, and he did talk about Mark Carney a little bit too. Mark Carney, of course, former Bank of Canada, Bank of England governor, who was long touted in the whisper mill about being the new finance minister or taking over the party. Who knows? What was your takeaway here?
Yeah, Todd, to your point, this is a veteran politician who showed that today and has shown that, through his time. He's a smooth talker. He's good at this kind of stuff, but certainly new to the portfolio of finance minister, which is a massive role. So many questions about what kind of a challenge it will be for him to take on that new portfolio. As you mentioned, the interesting point there that he discussed was, doubling down on comments he made to a New Brunswick newspaper about Mark Carney. We know that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had been in talks with Mark Carney about, trying to get him to take on the role of finance minister, at least temporarily. And what we heard from Dominic LeBlanc is that that is not happening. We know now, sources have told CTV News that the Prime Minister is planning to shuffle his cabinet tomorrow. But according to Dominic LeBlanc, part of that cabinet shuffle will not be the addition of Mark Carney. There's a few things that are important to kind of underline here and try and point out as we try and think back to everything that has happened over the last little while and what we could potentially see, Todd, through this cabinet shuffle. You have a number of ministers that are holding multiple portfolios at the moment that are likely to, take on one out of the several roles that they are currently faced with. Anita Anand, President of the Treasury Board and Minister of Transportation. So that is one minister that is, has multiple portfolios at the moment. Of course, Dominic LeBlanc, Minister of Finance and Intergovernmental Affairs, as well as Public Safety and Democratic Institutions. He, wears many hats at the moment. That is unlikely to remain. And you have Ginette Petitpas-Taylor, Minister of Employment, Workforce Development and Official Languages, as well as Minister of Veterans Affairs and Associate Minister of National Defence. Three ministers there that have multiple portfolios on their table at the moment. That is likely to change. And then you have a list of ministers that have announced that they are not seeking re-election. Marie-Claude Bibeau, Sean Fraser, Carla Qualtrough, Philomena Tassi, and Dan Van Dal. So that is a long list of ministers that either have multiple roles at the moment or have announced that they are not seeking re-election and so are likely to be replaced. So what I'm trying to say here, Todd, is that we're likely to see a lot of movement tomorrow. Who the names are that perhaps may be added to the Prime Minister's cabinet is not clear. How people will be shuffled around still is not clear. One thing we know is that we can expect to see significant change tomorrow.
Jeremie Charron. Thanks, Jeremy.
Anytime, Todd.